This is Dow Houston, and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. My videos address how to change your circumstances in life, whether they be financial, personal, social, or just life in general. I know there are hundreds, if not thousands, of similar sites. With that said, for better or worse, I just see the world differently than others, and I can tell you without any hesitancy that you will find thoughts, strategies, and ideas here you won't find anywhere else. It is my sincere hope you will find the content interesting and enjoyable. Thank you.
And I don't know if I can articulate exactly what I'm feeling. I hope so. So we'll see. Probably about 30 years ago, I met a young man in business. He was in the third generation of this business. Had been very, very, very successful. Very successful. And the guy was pretty likable. I trusted him. I liked him. And this is not a rant on somebody, by the way. I do talk pretty honestly, but not a rant nonetheless. Since that time, his granddad has passed away. His dad didn't really want to be in the business, so he took over. And I don't know, probably 10 years ago, I had the opportunity to handle a little side business for him. And I can tell you at that time I was very disheartened. This young guy that I had known, who had been likable, I wouldn't say magnetic by no means, but a likable guy, had turned into this serious curmudgeon, okay? Now they could buy me, God, I bet their fortune's $200 million. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. But anyway, so they could buy me without even thinking about it. But when I first met this young man, and for years, even though I didn't see him very often, I would imagine that. And now, of course, there is nobody that actually comes down and makes you an offer, I don't think, in the middle of the night or in the daytime. Says, listen, I'll give you that wish. You can be that person, but I got your soul. Or, listen, you give me 20 years of your life off the end of it, and I'll put you there. But had there it would have been a serious contemplation on my part, because I wanted that life. I mean, I wanted that life. I wanted that prestige. I wanted that power. I wanted that wealth. And I guarantee you, it would. I don't know that I would have, but it would have been a lot of contemplation had the devil come and said, I will grant you that. You can be that. But I got your soul, or I've got 20 years of your life that's going to be shortened. Well, at the end of last week, I was out of town on business, and I just happened to stumble across this guy in a restaurant having a business dinner. And I looked at him. Never a smile, never a laugh. He was no longer the good-looking young man that I'd remembered. He had put on a lot of weight, developed a lot of wrinkles, lost a lot of hair. And I was sitting there watching him across the room. He was no longer that person that I remembered. Now, of course, you remember things that you want to remember, but he was clearly not that person I recall. The only thing magnetic, he wasn't magnetic, he wasn't dynamic. I was sitting there watching him. The only thing magnetic about him or dynamic about him was the fact that he had a lot of money and he can change a lot of people's lives. And I was thinking, would I do that today? I try your hardest not to compare yourself to someone. And I'm not by no means saying I'm this glorious thing to look at or admire. But in my own right, I was like, am I proud of the person I am? Especially in light that there's this guy that had what I wanted so badly. And I said, yeah, you know, I am. And so the thing that I'm going to really talk about today, that's kind of the setup for it, is don't put people or things or desires on a pedestal. Now that may sound really kind of counterintuitive, because sometimes if you've got a dream, you got a desire, you want to set it high, so you're striving to it. But you've got to keep it realistic, and I don't mean your dream realistic. Hey, I want to be a YouTuber that's got 30 million views or something like that. I'm not saying that, but you can't put it on a pedestal. Because the second you put something on a pedestal, it just takes on a whole new importance. And yeah, if you're trying to get a dream, you want it to be important and you want to work towards it. But when you put it on a pedestal, you overlook its flaws. It's just this glowing thing. So if you put a person on a pedestal, they're going to have flaws, okay? Everyone does. But when they're on that pedestal, there's this magic that takes over. You no longer see the flaws. All you see is this, and it's above you. It's physically, if you think about it, I put it on a pedestal, it is above you. And by doing so, oftentimes its importance overshadows really what you're capable of. Another example is this. If I meet, back in my old lady days, I met a girl I really liked. Unfortunately, I would put them on a pedestal. Now all of a sudden, you're trying to win that. You're trying to do that. Instead of saying, listen, they're a human being, they're no better, no worse than I am, and keeping it the whole playing ground level. So it's hard because, again, you do want to, if you've got something you're striving for, now first you got to figure out if what I'm striving for is really what I'm striving for, okay? But that's a whole nother video, probably a whole series of videos, okay? But it's so important to keep everything in check. Because I had that young man on a pedestal for years and years. And I looked at him the other day and I'm like, he never belonged on a pedestal. Yes, he's got a lot of money. And that's about it. That really is about it. And I'm not so sure to get that money and keep that money. I'm not saying they did anything unethical. I'm not saying that at all. But hardcore, absolutely. You know, they cut nobody a break. There were no breaks given. I do know that. And it's sad. I'm like, God, you know? Now, again, you got to work towards your dreams. You got to say, this is what I want. If I'm going to medical school, okay, that's a dream. But you can't put doctors on a pedestal saying, oh my gosh, they're so much better than I. No, that's just a dream you're working towards. Or a lawyer, or a millionaire, or a politician, whatever it is you're striving for. And obviously I mentioned some high strives. You know, maybe you're just trying to say, listen, I just want a good paying job. I just want I want to be self-employed in some fashion. Okay, but keep it in check and understand that it's not above you. You got to keep the playing field level. I don't know if that makes sense, and I don't know how I know these thoughts in my head. And again, I'm saying this on the fly, but you got to keep those desires in check and keep it realistic. By realistic, I don't mean write your dreams down, but write your dreams down in such a way as to say, if I don't get that, it's not the end of the world. There's something else. Maybe there's something else more important, in fact. So anyway, I hope this makes sense to you. I know it makes sense to me, but be more than just a bank account. So guys, hope you enjoy it. Talk to you later. Let me know what you think.